excellent. So, taking a look at the defense here, coming out here from the Quake Fortress side. Looks as though we are going to have Lucio, or Forsaken on Lucio, Mufu on Zenyatta, Cypher on Symmetra, Cooler on McCree, Shark on Reinhardt, and Shadowburn rounding things out on the Genji.
Yeah, so a solid defense, pretty standard on this map. But the one wrinkle to notice, though, is the Genji, rather than someone to maybe hold a little bit of the high ground. We'll see 76 on this map pretty often. We'll see Junkrats on this map very often. So it'll be interesting to see what work the Genji can get done here. On offense, they're going to, looks like they're going to roll out with a Hanzo. That's going to be Himsy. Sato will be the Lucio, Pumpu on McCree, Mafu on Pharah, Hawks on Reinhardt, and Zappis on Zenyatta.
Yeah, so watching the Pharah player is going to be interesting. If he'll be able to get done without getting taken out by Cooler, there's always a sort of back and forth between your McCrees and your Pharahs to where, you know, as Pharah, if you give line of sight for too long, oftentimes you can just get shot out of the sky. So as Pharah, when you go in, you really have to make it count. You can't be alone, and usually you need a good distraction as well.
Yeah, the interesting thing they're doing here, they're not running Pharah with the Mercy, which is generally what you'll see just to get her the damage boost when she is at full health. Instead, she's got the orb, so kind of playing a more traditional roamer role.
I'm taking a look at Mafu, definitely being tentative, not going in without the rest of his team. In fact, Zappis and Mafu getting combined for the first kill of the game on the Shadowburn. Shadowburn eats a rocket and a little bit of Zenyatta orb as SG-1 now starting to push on Quake Fortress, and this is not a bad offensive push so far. They've gotten one pick, they're moving in, they're gang positioning, and Mafu's getting some great poke right now.
Yeah, I mean, being able to take out Shadowburn in that top area, now they're completely repositioned. It's almost like offense and defense have switched sides here.
Yeah, nice charge coming in from the SG-1 side. Hawks just going right in there. Pumpu with the cleanup gets 2 kills. Shadowburn now with the first kill of the game for Quake Fortress as he comes back in. He comes back in a big way. Double kill now for Shadowburn as he moves forward, but they're not able to stop the payload from moving forward. So really nice time being set here by SG-1 to start the game.
Yeah, I mentioned that Shadowburn was running Genji instead of a, perhaps a Junkrat to hold that left side instead, and he got completely bullied out of that left side. And usually that's what helps you keep the point, is being able to control that one area, but that's where they wanted to aggress from. They pushed him off and were able to get that point rather quickly.
Definitely. It is worth noting too on the attack, we haven't mentioned too much, but we do have the Hanzo on attack from Himsy. I'm not sure if it did too much in the early attack. A lot of it is, just great position, good rockets from Mafu, but Hanzo we've seen do a lot of work, especially against your Tracers and Genjis of the world as they move in. It's very difficult for him to deal with sort of the one-shot ability that he has, and we saw that even yesterday in our weekly.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're moving through the streets here at a pretty good clip. The ult comes in, though, from Shadowburn.
Yeah, Shadowburn comes in. Look at this, 3 kills now for Quake Fortress. 4 kills off the Dragon Blade of Shadowburn, plus the rest of Quake Fortress collapsing, and they're going to make a firm hold here in the streets. And I think it has been Quake Fortress I've seen in the past have these really big street holds in general. I mean, they have just really taken it to other teams in this particular part of Kings Row.
Yeah, that's a great turn of phrase, taking it to them, because if I recall correctly, they're one of the teams that will not sit back on defense. If they get a defensive sound barrier up, they will pop it and push in on you, especially in the street area where they can collapse from both flanks.
Well, that being said, looking at the ultimates right now from SG-1, they have 4 ultimates at the ready. Mafu right now getting some decent poke to begin with, but Barrage can come out at any time, Sound Barrier can come out at any time. We do have a Transcendence coming out from the defense, and here comes Quake Fortress. 1 kill on the Himsy from Shadowburn, 6v5. Now 6v3 in favor of Quake Fortress. We do have a Barrage coming down, but it's not going to do much, and Quake Fortress going to hold strong despite the ultimate disadvantage there. That's
2 times in a row during a fight that I think they're ending on ultimates they don't need to be ending on. It would be nice to have those up. Now, I think Hawks was on a Reinhardt at one point, and he got his Earth Shatter down. Maybe that's because he wanted to switch, and he's now switched after a brief interlude on Roadhog will be on another Zenyatta. They're transitioning into double orb, but again, they're with the Barrage. Probably just using it because they wanted to switch, so not necessarily the mistakes that they looked like at first as they're transitioning into a different comp.
Let's take a look at things from the attack side here. We see SG-1 coming back in, but they are totally drained to ultimates. They have nothing left, so if they're going to do this, they're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Zappis right now coming in from the side, runs in the Shadowburn. A little bit of poke between the 2 Genjis and nothing serious, and Shadowburn able to go in and take out Lucio, and here comes Dragon Blade from Shadowburn trying to make it double kill if possible, getting after Genji. Genji getting away for a time, but no, down goes Zappis, so double kill for Shadowburn. And we're going to see that the SG-1 team going to get pushed back a bit here. We do see Pumpu getting some good kills as Zenyatta, but overall the presence isn't there just yet.
I mean, that's one of the problems with transitioning into something kind of mid-map, right, is you're not going to have ultimates. It's going to take you 1 or 2 decent pushes to maybe even just charge up those ultimates and get an actual push, and especially when you're running this composition, so momentum-based. Losing Pumpu early actually almost stalls out this push immediately.
Cypher able to take out Punpu. Himsy striking right back, takes out Cypher. It is 5v5 on top of the point. We do have a Transcendence coming out as well for the defenders, but look at this. They go in, 2 kills now for Quake Fortress. And again, they're going to push SG-1 back. And you know, SG-1 has 3.5 minutes to get through here. This, so far, has looked to be a very, very rough go for SG-1.
I think they might just try to get some ultimates up. Now they do have their offensive teleporter up, so the next fight is going to be easier to reinforce at the very least. And also this composition, if they do win the fight in the streets, they might roll all the way to last.
Very, very likely. We see this a lot with double orb comps, where if they win a single fight, they can just go straight on and use the power of those orbs to harass right at the enemy spawn. But so far, they've had trouble getting the momentum rolling. We do see the payload starting to move a little bit here. Taking a look at Shadowburn. Shadowburn very close to getting Dragonblade. Dragonblade is up off that. We see defensive Transcendence going up again. However, this time Quake Fortress is deciding not to super deep dive after that. They're just going to hang back. So they're going to be down at that. We do see offensive Dragonblade coming out. Zappos though taken out immediately. Here comes the defensive Dragonblade coming up from Shadowburn. Shadowburn looking for kills here. Going to get 3 kills with the help of Cypher. And that is going to be another full team wipe in favor of Quake Fortress.
Yeah, I just think they really like fighting directly there. That's why they didn't push a little farther. They're like the second bend here because it comes across on the left flank. You're able to get to the top right ground if you so choose. It's just a lot of different areas for the offensive team to have to account for.
I see there, Himsy able to take out the teleport in the back, was looking to get a little bit more done. Ends up getting taken out by Cypher, but really what we're seeing here is just sort of a roadblock for SG-1. I mean, SG-1, the card has barely moved in the last few minutes. They've been totally stuck in the street phase, and time is starting to slip away from them. Last time I looked at the time, they had 4 minutes left. Now it's down to 2. So if they're going to do something, they need to get something done quickly.
Yeah, at some point they have to use this offensive teleporter and actually get it dropped down. They said they're going to fight first.
They're moving forward off the speed boost, off the offensive Transcendence. They're moving in, desperately trying to get that first kill. Punpu able to take out Mufu. Symmetra now in a lot of trouble from Zappos, but look at this. Symmetra turning the tides, and Genji almost dying to Symmetra. And meanwhile, Cooler with the double kill as people are diving in, and Quake Fortress looking really strong as they hold here on King's Row.
Yeah, yet again, Mafu was unable to be escorted to a safe place to get a teleporter down. Those reinforcements did not come through this fight, so they had been holding on to a couple ultimates for a bit too long, in my opinion.
Yep, so Cypher right now will have the Pulse Bomb up for the defense on the next fight. Mafu does have a teleporter up, has held on to it for a while, not looking to use the offensive teleport just yet. But they're going to have to do something soon and perhaps throw that teleport down and go for a big push because there's only 1 minute left if they want to reach the checkpoint. And look at this, Shadowburn able to take out Zappos. Watching Cypher right now, Cypher a big part of that kill also. Cypher versus Himsy in the pub. Cypher running away a bit here, doesn't want to take it. Meanwhile, Shadowburn able to get another kill in the backline. That's 2 kills, 3 kills for Shadowburn. Triple kill for Shadowburn, potentially sealing the game here for Quake Fortress. I do think there'll be 1 extra push coming out for SG-1, but it's going to be a very hurried push, if that.
Yeah, hurried and kind of, gimped push here, too. They don't have a ton of ultimates up now. They just lost Himsy as well. I think what they should have done there at some point is just taken a different angle. Maybe go just put everyone to the flank. Maybe come over the top, do something different. But running face first in the streets did not work out for them. They just kept trying.
Well, the only impact ultimate that they have up right now, I'm not even sure if the teleport stuff, no, the teleport was taken out. So the only thing going for SG-1 right now is the Dragon Blade of Zappos. If Zappos can get in and make work with his Dragon Blade, maybe they have a shot, but it's going to have to happen soon. 10 seconds left before overtime. Let's take a look at what SG-1 does here. Meanwhile, the defensive Transcendence coming from Quake Fortress. Quake Fortress is starting to rush us down. Dragon Blade coming up from Zappos. Zappos looking for kills, going back to the backline. Cooler though, able to take out Mafu. Cypher and Shark combining for 2 kills of their own. This is 4 kills in favor of Quake Fortress so far. 2 kills for SG-1. And SG-1 not going to get through here. Almost certainly going to be payload hold here for Quake Fortress. So really nice showing coming out from them.
Yeah, very solid defense. I think as this meta develops and as the map meta in particular develops, where teams are running something different on first point than they are in maybe the payload phase of these hybrid maps, that it's really going to come down to which team can transition better into a different composition. And I think the transition on defense was just a little stronger. We saw that they transitioned on offense halfway through, and it really hurt them.
Yeah, definitely. Here it is, one of the better Dragon Blades of the game coming out from Shadowburn. And yeah, it just sort of goes on to our... Wow, look at that kill streak. I didn't realize that Shadowburn didn't die a single time that entire game.
He did, but he died.
He did, was in the very beginning
deaths,
part. Yeah, okay, so he died before he got any eliminations, but once he got the eliminations going, there you have it.
Yeah, so maybe, you know, I was surprised to see the Genji on the first point, but maybe they just wanted him up and be on Genji and ready to have his ultimate charge. They were kind of, you know, hopefully they wanted a better defense on that first point. He's not ideal to holding that staircase on the left side, as you saw him get bullied off. But then once he was on his Genji, didn't die after that. So pretty solid showing from Shadowburn. One of my favorite players, too.
So I believe the time left for that first cap point was about 650 left after the cap. So if Quake Fortress is able to get the first point quicker than that, they'll simply win outright. They won't even have to go through the second phase.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty quick first cap, at least from SG-1. So it might force them into into having to capture point 2 if they can just hold on a little bit of defense.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was actually a very first point cap, or very fast first point cap, considering the amount of defense we generally see on this map. And we do have someone dropped out of the game, but I think they're coming.
SG-1's early attack was a thing of beauty. I mean, they were able to get in, be disciplined, get a quick pick, move to the high ground, get more poking, and it was basically a clinic coming out from SG-1 for point A. But after they got to the streets phase, all of that magic sort of disappeared, and they were never really able to get things going.
Yeah, so they need to defend for, I think it's like a minute and a half. I know we have an admin running the clock here for us today. I will get my clock up and running momentarily as well. So we'll see, and then if they aren't able to do it as in a fast time, which I think is a very difficult task, they do still have the option. Their other win condition is to take it all the way to the second point.
Yeah, it's a twofold win condition here now for Quake Fortress. They either beat the time for the first point, or they simply get to the second point. Either way, they will win this map, so they have to feel pretty good about their odds here. I mean, as long as they don't get waylaid in the streets like SG-1 did, Quake Fortress very likely go up 1-0 in this set.
Yeah, I mean, this map especially has been so strange as far as, are the streets going to even be contested, and are they going to be the big proving ground? It's gone back and forth week to week how those streets end up playing out. So a very standard defense coming up here, stall defense, and then the double orb composition with a spattering of Widowmaker.
Yeah, the Widowmaker we've seen get good picks early on King's Row. I think it's actually on the rare side, as I say that. Forsaken actually getting taken out by the right click of Zappos. So Zappos saying no to Forsaken. We'll see if he stays in the Widow, but yeah, I mean, we've seen Widows have really good runs on King's Row, but a lot of times, at least in recent memory, I feel like the Widow has fallen a little bit flat. Shadowburn able to get first kill for Quake Fortress, getting in there onto Himsy. Pumpudu going right back on Shark, and down goes Shadowburn, eating a hammer to the face. Meanwhile, Forsaken is back up looking for picks, does take out Pumpu, but will go down to Zappos again. So already, I think, unless Quake Fortress were the captain right now, they probably will not be winning here on a first point win.
No, it does not appear so, as it was kind of the very first push from SG-1 that was able to take the point as well, and they're in decent position. They have players up, they're not really dying. Even the pulse bomb
like this. We do have Himsy on the Roadhog, but Roadhog able to, actually, Quake Fortress able to get in there, take him out, and in fact, Quake Fortress caps this in the next
10 seconds.
I would say 3 seconds. I think it's a faster time.
It's very, very close.
Yeah, I think it's close enough to let them play it out, but as far as I can tell, I'm almost 100% sure that that is a win for the side of Quake Fortress, but we'll see how they go through the street phase here. Very likely, if they keep up this momentum, it might not even matter. We see Cypher and Shadowburn in the back, able to get an extra 2 kills there, really being aggressive and freeing up the streets for the payload to just move forward.
Yeah, and also they have most of their ultimates up too. Now I'm surprised, well, they are actually very far forward. This Widow is so far forward.
Few smiley faces coming forward here. In fact, SG-1, I think they know it's game, in fact.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell if they're just saying back and letting them cap, or...
Well,
I don't know. They're coming back out. They're coming back out. They're just hanging back with the Roadhogs. But 2 kills in favor of Quake Fortress as they move forward here. Roadhogs or no. Himsy, though, is able to take out Shadowburn. That's now 5v4 in favor of Quake Fortress letting move forward. The payload still moving in all this. You see have another hook coming out, and Forsaken able to kill Hawk. Shark takes out Himsy. Cypher on Sida. That is a triple kill for Quake Fortress.
Yeah, that's gonna be mad, but I think what they were actually really doing there and trying was maybe they have an idea on how to work against this composition. Of course, we saw Envious with a very interesting idea against this composition work yesterday, which included a Soldier 76, so maybe a double Roadhog 76 is something they've been trying and wanted to maybe kind of test it out a little bit there towards the end of the map.
Yeah, I can see that being a little bit theory-crafted. It's like, alright, we're going to give this a go. But we're going to watch here as Quake Fortress moves the Truck of Triumph all the way to the end.
Truck of
We'll see what the play of the game is, and I do believe map 2 is already chosen. If we
Hollywood, I think.
Hollywood, yeah.
Which is nice, because it's quickly becoming one of my very favorite maps. I mean, not only just because I get to see the sun, actually, at least in digital form, but also, I just think the defense is so cool, and just it feels like such a dynamic map. Every stage of that map feels very different than the one preceding it.
Well, the Streets phase in particular is one of the more iconic map switch-ups in the game right now, I sort of feel like, because you see a lot of teams that maybe they get wrecked on point A, but they can look like a completely different team as you get to the Streets phase. How the teams handle it is pretty varied at the moment. Some teams will run shutdown Widow play like G2 with Taimu right now. Some teams will just run, extra Genjis. It's a bit variable, but it's cool to watch on both ends of it.
Yeah, some teams will even run divas just to bully people off the rooftops. Of course, your shift ability is so great, and it's on a low cooldown, that mobility boost, but not only does it move the diva, but it can also just push people off of the rooftops, and gaining control of that vertical element of the game has been crucial in Hollywood. So be interesting to see what people run on there. I think there's a pretty standard defensive composition, but the transitions as we move into second stage can be often very entertaining.